Namaste. My name is Ilona selkie and I welcome you on this 30-minute introductory talk about what is meditation and what is the meaning in life. Where does meditation take us and why it is important. I'm speaking to you here from Bali after having been meditating since I was 17. This I started in 1977, and I can tell you from experience that meditation is not just something you do. It is something that becomes a way of understanding life. Meditation in the beginning is a way to just calm your mind enough to start noticing the subtler information that hides beyond the busy thoughts. The metaphor of calming the lake has been oftentimes used to indicate what meditation does. And let me start with that. You calm your mind to turn the sea into a simple, miraculous, glistening lake where everything that is in the heavens is reflected purely in the calm seas. A disturbed lake will not reflect anything clearly. So for us to gain insight into something that is beyond the mind, beyond the regular world of appearances, we need to calm our mind down enough so as to understand what lies beyond it through the subtler senses. Our mind is busy creating thoughts, logic, analyzing things and how things should be done for us to survive. It's a very useful tool. However, when you start understanding the higher laws of consciousness, and you can calm the outer mind, the monkey mind, to such a degree that you enter heightened states of awareness, you will be able to, first of all, effectively create more results in your life that feed your purpose in life, feed your income, your way of living comfortably on this earth, because you start operating from a higher perspective. Secondly, you will start getting in touch with a greater and greater core of yourself. I'm saying greater and greater because oftentimes we think that calming our life and our mind is already automatically getting us in touch with the Supreme. It does so in stages. We calm our mind, we learn to calm our emotions. We address emotional trauma and transform them. And we enter subtly into higher and more finer refined states of consciousness, which culminate into greater singularity states, accessing eternity and oneness with God at its culmination. And even after that communion with singularity with God, we keep growing in our capacity to sustain that greatness, oneness, that vastness, that eternity. To begin meditating, you simply have to sit and calm your mind. You can do that by going into regular breathing, either alternate nostril breathing, which is called yogic breath, where you breathe into one nostril for a count of 4 or 7, bringing light into your third eye or into your consciousness, into your mind, anywhere in your upper region of your brain, holding the breath there, calming all thoughts and feelings and breath, and then exhaling to the same count of 4 or 7 through the other nostril. Then again, holding your breath for an equal count, 4, 7. And then again, breathing in through your other nostril, this nostril again. Breathing in the light, holding that luminosity, expanding on it, being still in that luminosity. And then switching and exhaling through the other nostril, holding the breath at this calm level, repeating it, breathing back in. This creates the yogic breath, which allows you to go deep into quietude. The quietude will do a number of things. It will slow down your heart rate. It'll remove the toxic effects of cortisol. It'll allow your body system to relax to a deeper level than when you watch TV or than when you read a book. So becoming aware of your breath and taking time for yourself is a very good beginning. But once you've calmed the lake, the deeper journey begins. And now many people think this should already be the end all. But what happens when you've reached that calm lake? Things that lurk beneath the surface can be seen more clearly. The things that you might find beneath that clear lake surface are things that have been maybe lodging there for a long time. It could be childhood experiences, moments that didn't go over so well, maybe impressions, fears, anxieties we didn't deal with. At one point, when you start dealing with that, and you've sufficiently cleansed your inner closet, and we teach a specific technique to do that, which is available through all our teachings in all my books. You can read about it and glean from the children's book, this technique that I call Tracking Your Holodynes. It's based on the work by Dr. Vernon Wolf, a magical man, 6-time PhD, who discovered this method when working with addicts. He discovered that when you talk to the negative emotions and ask your negative emotion, which you first feel through your body, and take it outside of yourself as if it's a being, you communicate with that consciousness and ask that feeling, maybe the anger, the hurt, the pain. Oh, what do you really want? It will tell you. Now, this half-hour introduction is a little bit too short for me to tell you how to use that technique, but if you pursue the teachings here with me, I have a number of channels where I describe about how to use it, interviews where I've described it, guided people through a guided meditation with it, or you can download my children's book called Alan Learns to Use His Imagination, which has a guided imagery doing exactly that, transforming negative emotions. Now, when we do that, some people are surprised. They go like, look, I don't want to deal with negative emotions. I'm busy meditating. It is part of the process. Emotions come up to be cleared. Once you understand the deeper purpose of what these negative emotions want for you, you discover that they become the stepping stones into a higher expression of who you truly are. When that anger gets to speak and say what it really wants, it allows you to express yourself at your next highest level because it wants something really beautiful in the end. We have found that no matter how dark something is, inherently within it, embedded within the structure of form, time, and space, is the next highest evolutionary step. And you can find out by simply listening to those negative emotions and asking them, not why are you and let's not be like this, but simply finding out what it actually really wants. And if it had what it really wanted, what would it feel like in its most fulfilled, beautiful form? And so the negative becomes the flip side of its higher positive potential. Now, if you do this process within your time period of meditating, you will feel better. You will become healthier. Your stress levels will come down. You start radiating a greater light. People will notice this about who you are, how kind you are becoming, how you speak more kindly and understand others because you are learning to understand yourself. Now, once you've cleared that, on a daily basis, then you don't have so much householding to do because you're sweeping the dust every day. When you begin, there is a little bit more work to do because naturally you will find more things hiding beneath that calm, clear surface of your clear mind. When you dive deeper, it can be that past life memories will come up. Now, some people find that shocking because they don't have the frame of reference to believe in past lives, but these things come up over years of meditating naturally. If you hold your mind and your emotions still, deeper issues will come up, as well as you make progress, progressing into finer levels of higher consciousness. So we go in both directions. We clean up the past, which is an important step of developing your higher consciousness. Cleaning up the past is part of the meditation process. It is so crucial that many paths have overlooked it And Osho was one of the people who said, not until you clean up your past can you make real progress into the future, into loving, into caring, into becoming a greater luminous being. We have many teachers who are now recognizing that consciousness works into the past, into clearing the past, as well as into the future, as well as elevating your state into higher states. So this is what I am teaching. Cleaning up the past, directing your awareness and creating a beautiful future, because every single thing you see outside of you is a direct reflection in some form or another of dreams you hold, beliefs you've been taught, or things you have not digested yet in the past. The more you digest your past, the more beautiful and effective and purposeful your outside will become. You will start giving, you will start teaching, you will start being beneficial to yourself and others. And the world around you will reflect your inner state day by day. Now, some days we're better off than others. All of us have a better time to focus. Some days our meditations are mucky and are filled with tiredness. Those are okay days. We pick up the next day. But if we clean up our consciousness day by day and start cleaning up our past, pre-creating our future to come, our day, our responsibilities, we will get access naturally to higher and finer states. And this is what we normally think of higher states of meditation. The union with your soul, the union with God, the union with all that is past, present, and future. And a state of blissfulness, of love, of ecstasy that evolves as you evolve. There is no stagnant final state of illumination. There are stages that you learn to hold. And when you start spinning these fields for not only yourself but others around you, you become a teacher for those. Once you've taught enough at those levels, it is time for you to let others take that spot and you evolve to the next higher level. The visions we get, the way we perceive our inner world depends on who you are and how you operate. Some people are more feeling types. We call them the kinesthetics. They need to go inward and feel the relaxation, feel the body, taking a deep breath, just focusing on those things. There are others who are more visionary, and they need to have a sense of ascending into maybe luminous spaces. Or you become a mixture of both. You feel the quietness, breathing in relaxation. You may tense your body up, breathe in and relax to enjoy that feeling of deep cellular relaxation in the beginning. But ultimately, it becomes an inner sense to where you rise into finer levels of consciousness until you learn to identify different layers of time, space, body, embodiment. Now, I sit here as a body that comprises this much body, time, space. But in reality, my consciousness rises into different states of embracing and encompassing different states of time, space. When I turn to eternity, ideally and eventually I comprise all times, all spaces. And a single thought, a single blink of an eye, a single conception of an idea at that moment where you embrace eternity is sufficient to open up the doors for manifestation, to unfold and bring into creation that which you conceive of. Now, the higher you rise, the more wishless we become, or you become, the more we just simply reside in the pure pleasure of being fully conscious and one with all. The reward is in that ecstasy of being in touch with all time and space. It's a sensation that is hard to describe. However, you will ascend slowly but surely into those places where all time and space resides in that minuscule moment of allness. And if you wish to express something of greater grandeur, a gift, any creation you need, a single perception of what it is will be sufficient to create the results. Now you can always have the fail-safe question or command for the highest good in your innermost being, so that any thought you might have at such pristine states is always for the highest good of all concerned. We want to make sure that our consciousness is purified at that level, so that whatever we conceive of is naturally of benefit and health, healing and support of others as well as ourselves. So the 3 stages of calming our mind give way to purifying our past, our remote pasts, our bigger pasts like past lives. Our genealogy is included, our ancestry, cleaning up beliefs and even their lives, their ghosts or any part of our ancestry that might have hung on in immature belief systems can be cleaned up through you, because you are your soul-centric self. All of us comprise a bubble of consciousness. That bubble will attract to it any resonant field to it that is in harmony with it. Now this quantum zero space that you are will become ever more brilliant if you transform any anger, any resentment, any hurts, any pains. And when you become transparent, the transparency of grandeur and beauty can come into you. And there will be a pure reflection. And all the magical coincidences will start aligning in your daily life. A mere thought, even one you weren't aware of, will start manifesting, such as the desire to be of greatest help. Many a times I show up right where a person comes in, let's say seeing me at a cafe, buying some bread or some food, saying, I needed to talk to you. I've been talking to you in my mind and was writing to you an email, and I needed to ask you this question. And I'm right there in front of their nose. I needed to give them that answer, something that was needed and another employee of mine wasn't able to give, in remote places around the world. So you will be placed wherever necessary. And the holographic picture show of life makes it so that you are in the perfect place of time, space, in the now, where you are needed the most to be in harmony with your vision of what you want to create and to be. For those people who would like to be guided in envisioning their day in a beautiful way, you can take advantage of a free app I have on the App Store. It's the precursor to the Living from Vision course, a course designed to help people create beautiful outcomes, manifest their goals through internal focusing processes. So this app is for free. It's called Living from Vision Lite, L-I-T-E. And you can download it from the Android or Apple Store. And start your day right and end your day on a good note. Research has shown that when people envision their day, setting goals, describing what they want, they have so much more success in actually creating it. People who go to bed being grateful wake up grateful. People who review their day feel more successful. So I invite you to take advantage of that free app if you'd like. And read about the Living from Vision course if you wish on the website, but make sure that you do something, some kind of daily routine that helps guide your mind into inner quiet, into silence, into becoming in touch with your inner core, to create a more beautiful world outside of you. So, as I said, you may start out with breathing. Then you may continue in envisioning what needs to be done today. Usually those are the processes that naturally evolve. We think of all the things that need to be done, so might as well do that in your morning meditation with a guided imagery exercise. Whether you feel what you need to do or see it is up to you. The next thing is to clear up your dustbin. The garbage pile needs to be taken out to be made compost of and to create a cleaner and more beautiful aura. Then you start going into finer realms of consciousness, and this takes time. because you start developing a sense and awareness of entering into pure refined states outside of the crown chakra, level upon level, lokas upon lokas. The Satnam level, which is the one name, the one singularity, beginning of soul consciousness, is the beginning stage from where you can ascend to finer and more refined levels of Brahmic consciousness and beyond. Cosmic consciousness. Different visions will enter you at each stage of these growth levels. You will start seeing the sun and the moon worlds. You will start seeing greater galactic worlds. You will become the galactic consciousness. You will become the intergalactic states of consciousness. You will become the great toroid of the entire cosmos and the time-space continuum of God manifests. And that is where maybe you find peace in why manifestation exists. Not as an afterthought, not as a punishment, but as a place to relish and encounter God to God. When the part of you that is God recognizes the God in the other, and it is a communion between the whole, the one, and the one, a resonant communication pattern is set up that resides within you like a toroid. The toroid is a shape which collapses in and of itself and arises again, spreads out, to fall back through entropy into itself, to recoalesce back into singularity, into what we call the black hole, which expulses again into refined particles of everything, into the beyond stardust fineness of finding consciousness, coalescing itself back into time, space, energy, and matter, returning to singularity to start the journey again with ever greater awareness. So all that's left is working on the depth and the grandeur of you tuning into the 0 point. This is a journey that takes time and space. Sometimes you can make quantum jumps and simply access greater levels when you've practiced in your past lives and already know these levels of consciousness. You will be able to enter singularity in an instant. And you will find yourself making quantum jumps, embracing all time and space with ease. For some people, it takes time to work through all these levels step by step. Depending on how many lifetimes you've already been doing this, you may just skip ahead. That's fine. It doesn't take everybody the same amount, but it does take everybody one step at a time. And wherever you are, you can start now to increase your luminosity, to discover greater and greater abilities to touch into God. And when you touch into God, you will start being of service in whatever way suits you. Your talents usually are determined by the moment of time-space incarnation. Now, this is known through the numerology, through astrology. The pattern that, for example, I inhabit has to do with being a great inspirer. I'm good with words. I'm good with creativity. I'm good with design. I am good with a number of things. Being a Gemini, naturally, I express myself well with words. So my inspiration can easily come through words. Those are my talents. Beyond that is my soul awareness. And my soul awareness can be anywhere from a beginner to middle to advanced to super advanced. It doesn't really matter where we are, because we take the pattern and the talents we have to their next level. If you're finding yourself to be this, become that. If you find yourself you're already here, get to this level. Expressing your talents is one way to be of use on this plane of existence. It's what we call purpose in life. But the actual deeper meaning behind the purpose in life is actually realization of self and God. You see, when I do guided imagery exercises with children to take them to understanding their purpose in life, do you know what they come back with? They say, all excitedly, I know what I'm here on earth to do. I am here to spread light and to spread love. And they're all excited about that. Now, when I do this exercise with adults, sometimes they come back with this answer. Well, I didn't see much, only that I'm here to share more light and love. Of course, it depends on our perspective. How can you share more love and light? Is by discovering more light and love in you. And when you come from that reservoir, you will naturally expand it into the world around you. When you understand that we live in a school where we make steps in evolution until we find the top of this level of school, then you start helping others get there, and eventually you're free to leave to the next higher level of training, of consciousness becoming all that there is. See, when you have become all that there is, you can start giving abundantly to those who don't know, instead of judging them. We don't say to the first graders, "You can't read yet." We go and help them. We become teachers. We become friends. We become grandparents who help the little ones read. And that's what we do with each other. We give a helping hand and we take a helping hand. That way we help those that aren't where we are yet to evolve, and we take the help from those that are beyond us to give us the right help to help us get to the next level. Now, once you have understood this ladder of evolution, you can let go of judging the world for being as it is. You allow everybody their game to learn what they need to learn. You just make sure that you play with those that are in harmonious relationship or resonance with your internal self. And for that reason, meditation guiding you to purify your lens, your emotional body, your spiritual lens, and purifying yourself to become aware of the dust particles within that naturally distort what you see. When you purify that, you create a greater reflection from outside of you. Once you do that, you become more radiant in your auric field. You transform those little dust spots into what they really want. The shining knight in glamorous white light armor, the love that you always wanted to receive, you now have residing within you. You simply recreate your past to pre-create a different future. Instead of having taken this low road, you now take the high road to God. It takes taking care of ourselves emotionally, spiritually, mentally, every single day. Clean up, calm your lake, see what's wanting to be cleaned, purify that, set your visions on what you want to manifest, and learn how this matrix of reality surrounding you is a dream matrix. It's slow to where you don't just think of something and it's immediately like wobbling. This chair is still here now and I can still talk to you. However, within just another thought, it can easily change. Within a short time, if you're trained, it can be instantaneous. But the stability at this level allows us to learn about cause and effect of our consciousness. And the more purified you are, the more glorious it is what you see outside of you. And you don't need to change or manipulate others to reflect something that you want to see. You change yourself, and you will start reflecting what you see outside of yourself. Either you'll be tolerant and let it go by and give a helping hand, or what you see will be exactly what you were seeing inside, reflected now in your external dream. Now, although we started out talking about meditation, we're now seeing that consciousness is a vaster field. There are degrees of meditating that increase past the level of calming your mind, past the level of purifying your past, past the level of pre-creating your future, past the level of entering sublime consciousness. You then start merging with supreme beings. You can merge with the most supreme beings of your imagination until all that is left is allness, God, eternity, and you just vibrate at that highest level, whatever that is for you. And I invite you on this journey with me and use whatever tools I can offer you. I have techniques that clean up the past. I have techniques to help you pre-create the future, all the while you go into meditative states. And then we practice purifying the pristine levels of consciousness together, where you enter finer and finer states beyond your crown chakra, into more and more global cosmic consciousnesses, into singularity, into the one and only source there is. Now I'd love to see you in some way or another. Get in touch with me if you'd like, and help you on that journey if you feel that I can help you. There are free tools that I offer, like the app, like I said, Living from Vision Light, that you can find on my website, ilonaselkie.com, or also on livingfromvision.com. I very much am grateful that you're taking the time to improve on yourself, that you wish to grow. Focusing on consciousness and purifying our divine birthright, purifying our soul presence here on this earth, is what we are born to do. It's our only job. And managing life, making your income, making a family, all these things are ways to help you learn how to purify your diamond. Sooner or later, all these things come easily, and you master each stage with greater grace. And to this end, I invite you to take advantage of any of my free offerings or join me in any of the trainings that I make available. Thank you for taking care of your consciousness. Namaste. When I go into the meditation, I go through a number of stages. I don't immediately try to let go of all thoughts, but rather I first focus on my physical relaxation. I utilize the yogic breath in that I focus on my regular breathing of in and out breath, and I count my breath by breathing in through one nostril for a particular count, holding my breath as a brilliant light in my third eye, and then breathe out for the same count through my other nostril. Again holding my breath at the bottom for the same number of counts, and then breathing again in through the same nostril, bringing in brilliant light into my third eye. This focuses my mind and body, brings it into harmony, and brings me into a greater, calmer rhythm that allows me deeper access to my higher consciousness and to smooth the waves of the ocean, so to speak. People are then usually told to bring their thoughts to a quiet space. And many people don't know what to do with their thoughts that seem to come up again and again. People say, listen to your thoughts and let them go by like clouds. I use this time to look at those clouds consciously and notice them as feelings within my body, where I might find some unresolved issues, and I listen into those feelings as a bodily felt sensation first, to get out of my head into a feeling mode. Then I ask what these feelings really wish. Negative feelings, no matter how negative they are, wish for something positive. The anger wishes maybe to receive love, a positive outcome. In my meditation, I go through those steps that I explain in my books and teach in the seminars, how we can transform those negative aspects that we find left over and transform them into their positive wishes, to use them as a stepping stone to create a fulfilled life. If we utilize this time in the beginning in our meditation, then we can utilize our negative feelings as a stepping stone to automatically bring us to a higher dimension. After I've done, so to speak, my inner house cleaning, I go into a visionary space. Automatically, my mind wants to focus on things that I still have to do, whether it's project that I'm working on, whether it's short-term goals or long-term wishes that I wish to manifest. We create by moving our mind into the fulfilled future and feeling the feeling as if we had already experienced this wish fulfilled now as a fulfilled reality. So I go into the feeling of fulfillment of what I would experience if I already had this wish fulfilled as a fulfilled reality in the now. The time where I think of my projects, of all the things that are still on my to-do list, I use in a way to pre-create my future in a positive way, my future of today, my future of tomorrow, my future of more long-term projects that I then envision in a fulfilled way. I utilize the steps of calming my body, cleaning my emotions and transforming them into fulfilled feelings, as well as the visionary pre-planning of my future time. I use all of these as steps in my meditation to get into finer spaces in my meditation. After that, when we've done those steps, we will naturally find our inner attention rising to higher dimensions. We need to learn how to practice finding our soul consciousness, utilizing the time to transform our worldly thoughts, purifying the emotions, and recreating our future opens the door to even more abstract, more beautiful, pure states of connecting to God. This is the quantum work, the quantum jumping that we're doing by moving into the future that is fulfilled, by entering into the state that we would have if the future were now. What we do then, and naturally do then, is we focus on our soul awareness. All the while I meditate, part of me knows it wishes to ascend to my heightened state of soul awareness and connectedness to God. I can do this obliquely while I take care of my household, so to speak. Another part of me already knows that I wish to focus on the highest potential that I can reach at this point in my evolution. So we naturally take steps in focusing our mind during one session of meditation. And we have the option of then entering into pure states of sublime light, where we explore being pure soul and entering into the more purest, divinest levels of awareness of connecting with God, irregardless of any religion that we may partake in. God is there for all of us. God is the source that we can connect with. And in the meditation, we have the ability to transcend the chat of the mind and using it as a stepping stone to enter more profound mystical states of union. In my books and seminars, I teach methods of this quantum transformation, as well as awareness training of pure soul consciousness. And the more beautiful we create our lens here on earth, the more beautiful our manifestation becomes around us. That is our gift back to the source, to the divine, to become the most refined lens, the fractal that returns its awareness to the whole. In that we become part of the whole, not by withdrawing our consciousness from the whole and avoiding life, but rather contributing our full consciousness to be an illuminated fractal and co-creating realities that are so luminous, where we then reflect the divine in the manifest. That is our gift to God in return. God has given us the gift of consciousness, so we may grow, awaken. We were not given that gift to withdraw out of this paradise, but to create the paradise within us and around us. Heaven on earth is not a place. It's an internal state that we can recreate again and again, and this state of consciousness we can refine over decades of practice. How we bring that into our daily life, that is something I teach in my seminars. For example, by refining our own soul awareness and then connecting with others who are equally capable of igniting their soul awareness with us, to where we can merge together with them at higher dimensions. And the highest form of love is a state of union of consciousness and soul. In that state, we feel blessed beyond measure to express love in our daily life, with others, with one another that we can share here on earth, creating a heaven on earth.